bodies. Is that does it work like that as well? Because
Sure.
you know how, for example, if you're in public and people have certain opinions or certain judgments, they're putting energy at you. So you've got that ability to kind of push it to the side.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah, so if I'm understanding correctly, the question is about through training the understanding of the ethers and the energy within oneself, you're able to prevent others' energies from affecting you. Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
cool. Because you talked about the movements earlier. So the physical movements bring it into a sense of embodiment for both power generation and living in that state. As a side note, but coming back to it, yes, understanding the way the energy works within your etheric body, your energy body, and within your thoughts and emotions. Because you got to remember, your thoughts and emotions are made from the energy in your energy body. So, the chi or the ether in your energetic system is what fuels and creates your thoughts and emotions. So that link's important because as you train your awareness of and your connection to the different types of energy, sensing, moving, kinetic, imprinting, visual, so the different types of energy, as you train your skill and your awareness of them, you're then further able to understand and be aware of when negative influences are coming from the outside or from within you. So for example, you're at work or in a cafe, who knows, you're somewhere and you're sitting doing something, maybe you're working, and then all of a sudden you feel stressed and you didn't notice that someone walked behind you had a very strong stress vibration. So if you're not consciously aware of these types of, if you're not aware of yourself, let's say, from a sensing standpoint, so let's say you're not sensing yourself, that vibration can penetrate your space. And the way it penetrates, because this is an interesting question, the way it penetrates is that it'll find something that it co-vibrates with in you. So their vibration that has and you have a similar vibration in you will draw that into you. But if you train yourself to be present and conscious through sensing, through the sensing energy, then you will observe when that frequency is around you or coming to you. Then you'll be able to decide whether you allow it in or not, and that's a starting point. So that's the first thing. Okay, train the ability to sense. So as you sit here or stand here or do your forms while we're on this call, and now that we're talking about sensing, you're all probably sensing your space a lot more consciously than you normally would, right? So the state training, the form training, trains you to be more conscious of the sensing of your etheric body in space as a natural baseline. Whereas a lot of people are so caught up in their head, past, future, or just daydreaming that they're not aware of when these vibrations are penetrating their actual etheric body into their centers. So sensing, yes, absolutely helps you to stop taking on vibrations from the environment, but also makes you conscious when they're coming up from your own subconscious. So you'll notice, there's this coming up within me. And that's the important thing. Releasing it from yourself will be the eventual gateway to not drawing it in. Because if you don't have it in you, then it won't come to you. Because you don't have a co-vibration. Like attracts like. That which is likened unto itself is drawn. So that's a first starting point. Secondly, if you and I, Peter, were standing, let's say you and I are bouncers, right? We're standing at a nightclub at the front door, and people want to come in. We can say, yes, you come in, no, you go away, you're not wearing the right shoes, piss off. We can tell people to come and go, right? In the same way, if you're not standing at the door of your etheric body, anything can come in and out.
Yeah.
There's no bounces.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So you want to be go on.
I was going to say, a good way in the past, a good way to really describe it is if you're not aware of it. Say, I find social events are really good example. At social events, everyone's doing their thing. It's kind of like if you're not aware of it, you just get swept in like a tornado.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of energy flying around. That's for sure. So then we go further. Okay, okay, we want to be conscious of ourselves through sensing. That's the truth of the moment, because you can't sense yourself yesterday or tomorrow, right? As we've spoken of earlier. Further, you start to train the movement of energy through sinking and release. The movement of energy is within your thought forms. So, if you imagine right now you've got a bird in your hands, right? And you see, okay, I've got a beautiful white dove in my hands. and you can see it and you can feel it, and then you can imagine it flying away, right? And if you imagine that bird flying off and you imagine it coming back to you, that's the movement of energy within your thought form, which is the same movement of energy within your etheric body, within your chi body. So why is that important? Firstly, the sensing and syncing leads to surrender. So your ability to release and let go of vibrations as they penetrate your system will be linked to your ability to sense and sync them, sense and let them go. Now, so that's once again a skill, the ability to move energy within your system, but also within your thought forms. Further to that, the visual component. So as you train your ability to use the visual energy, they call it seeing chi or imprinting ether. There's different terms, but it's the ability to visualize simply. As you train visualization, you can consciously transmute thought forms. So each thought form you have, any anger, fear, doubt, worry, any of the negative, lower demonic thought forms, they have an image or a picture in your mind as you start to pay attention. So they might be like a snake or an evil bear or something. So, I'll give you one from my own direct experience. So I was doing a meditation on my balcony in Cyprus. I lived in this apartment block with some of the senior disciples of Daskalos. And I was sitting on my balcony doing this meditation. It was an unconditional love one. I'll go to the point because there was a bit more depth to the meditation, but I could sense this gigantic bear with huge fangs, and it was a vibration of anger. It was like an anger and a rage frequency. And as I was observing that within my meditation, the head center filled with a golden light from the head center penetrated the center of that thought form and slowly transmuted that gigantic bear of rage, resentment, and anger into like a golden clock, and it eventually rested over my right shoulder, which felt like the vibration of patience. So as you develop your skill with visualization, you can consciously de-energize negative thought forms. So the example there was the demonic bear that turned into a golden clock of patience. But the problem is that most of us just aren't aware. We're not conscious that we're using mind vitality or chi, as the Chinese would call it, to shape thought forms that lead to frequencies inside us. But as you train that in the meditation, the state training, as you train it in your form practice, you become conscious of the visual component and how that influences your internal vibration.